You ever seen someone try so hard to control a place, they end up burning it to the ground? Literally? Yeah, that happened. And it didn't start with flames or sirens. It started with roses. Just a few red rose bushes in a quiet front yard. But apparently, in a place like Larkridge Pines, a place obsessed with symmetry, silence, and bylaws, that was enough to start a war. See, back when Javier Morales bought his first home in this so-called perfect neighborhood, all he wanted was peace. After 5 years stuck behind a desk crunching numbers at the municipal tax office, the man just wanted a lawn, a little garden, and maybe a weekend to grill in peace. Nothing fancy, no drama, just a slice of quiet. But Larkridge had a queen. Her name? Meredith Collins, HOA president. Blonde bob that didn't move an inch in the wind, white blouse so crisp it could slice paper, and a voice that sounded like it was always reading a court order. She didn't run the HOA, she was the HOA. And when she saw Javier's rose bushes, oh boy. She showed up at 8 a.m. on the dot that Sunday morning, folder in hand like she was about to serve him a federal indictment. No good morning, no those look lovely. Just, Mr. Morales, per Regulation 5.4.3a, any alteration to landscaping must be pre-approved by the board with a minimum 30-day notice. Javier blinked, still holding his coffee. They're just roses, he said, genuinely confused. Her smile was the kind that says, bless your heart, but means you're screwed. She handed him a violation notice and walked away like she'd just done something noble. That $200 fine, just the beginning. From then on, Meredith was everywhere, measuring his mailbox with a ruler, squatting in his driveway to check the angle of his tires, taking pictures from across the street like a wannabe private investigator. Even had the nerve to measure the grass with a little tape measure, swear to God like she was planning a turf audit. Neighbors started whispering, stopped waving. The usual backyard barbecues that used to float through his window on Saturdays. Silence. The kids across the street stopped coming over to kick the soccer ball on his lawn. It was like Meredith had him marked as a pariah, and the whole block got the memo. Then came the HOA meeting. He wasn't even planning to go. But Meredith demanded he attend, sent a letter, dropped it off in person, and then sent a follow-up email. The woman was relentless. He walked in, and it was like a tribunal. Neighbors sat stiffly in folding chairs, eyes darting everywhere but at him. Meredith stood at the front, flanked by 2 other board members who looked like they'd rather be anywhere else. Her blazer was navy this time, adding an extra layer of self-importance. Mr. Morales, she began, has violated 27 separate regulations in the past 6 weeks. Javier's jaw dropped. She started reading them off one by one. Garden rocks in an unapproved pattern, a light bulb that exceeded the HOA's wattage limit by 5 watts, the wrong shade of mulch. She was reaching. He stood up, calmly, professionally, but with fire in his chest. Some of these rules don't even exist, he said. That's when she went full dictator. If you continue this disruptive behavior, we have the legal authority to initiate proceedings to remove you from this community. That wasn't just a warning. That was a threat. Then came the big hammer. Banned from all community facilities, pool, playground, clubhouse, couldn't have guests without 72-hour written notice. She turned his home into a prison. But Meredith didn't know something important. Javier wasn't just some pencil pusher with a mortgage. He used to be a firefighter. 8 years of volunteer service before he switched careers. And all that time spent dealing with emergencies, bureaucracies, and back-end systems turned out to be very useful. So, he started digging. Late at night, between shifts, he pulled HOA records, public filings, vendor contracts, and guess what? He found something big. Turns out, the landscaping company the HOA had on contract, Pinecrest Maintenance, Meredith owned it. Through a shell company registered under her cousin's name, $18,000 a month, every month, from the HOA budget, signed off by, surprise, President Meredith Collins. Grass-cutting schedules had doubled for aesthetic reasons. Chemical treatments required exclusive vendor sourcing. Even flower bed maintenance had been outsourced, something residents used to do for free. But that wasn't all. Javier found zoning applications. Hidden under a different name, through another shell company, was a proposal to turn the entire neighborhood into a commercial strip mall. Movie theater, retail shops, coffee chains. And guess whose house was sitting right on the prime access road to that development? His. No wonder she wanted him out. and she'd already forced out 8 other families. He confirmed the sales, all sold below market value, all to LLCs traced back to her. He brought the evidence to a neighbor, Ms. Reyes, retired prosecutor. Smart, sharp, didn't tolerate BS. She reviewed the documents, nodded once and said, "She's done. We'll make sure of it." They drafted a legal strategy. Clean, precise, ironclad. Then came the fire. It was 11:30 at night when Javier's old phone rang, the one he used to carry for emergencies. He hadn't touched it in a year. But tonight, it buzzed like a ghost from the past. A fire. Structure blaze reported at 9116's Maple Drive, his own street. He didn't hesitate. Suiting up felt like breathing. Helmet still fit, boots still laced tight. By the time the truck roared to life, he was already in go mode. And when they reached the gate of Larkridge Pines, there she was, Meredith Collins, barefoot in a robe, hair wild, arms crossed like a guard dog. "You can't come in," she yelled. "You need written HOA permission to enter the community." Javier stepped down from the truck, helmet on, boots crunching gravel. "There's a house on fire," he said, voice steady. "Do you want to explain to dispatch why we were delayed?" She stammered, torn between power and panic. "But regulations don't trump lives. Is anyone inside?" Tears welled in her eyes. "My cat, Whiskers. She's still in there." Without another word, Javier climbed back into the cab. "Let's roll." They saved the house, or what was left of it. Pulled the cat out, too. Meredith sat on the curb, wrapped in a blanket, holding Whiskers like she was made of glass. "Why?" she asked, eyes red, voice cracking. "After everything I did to you, why'd you help me?" Javier looked at her for a long time, then just said, "Because it's the right thing to do. That's what you do in emergencies. You help, even when people don't deserve it." Then Ms. Reyes stepped forward, holding a stack of documents. "For the record," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Meredith Collins has been systematically defrauding this community, using HOA funds to fund a private redevelopment scheme." Gasps, murmurs, shock. Someone shouted, "Is that true?" Meredith didn't answer. She didn't have to. Within a week, everything unraveled. The board voted to remove her. She was sued, forced to return the money, sell the properties, and vacate the community for good. She left in a moving truck. No goodbyes, no farewell party. The HOA rewrote every bylaw from scratch, this time with actual community input. Meetings became open forums, not inquisitions. Neighbors talked again, waved again, even planted flowers without fear of retribution. Javier? He turned down the offer to run the new HOA, said he just wanted peace, but he agreed to be the emergency coordinator for the community, on call, just in case. The rose garden? Still there, even bigger now. Neighbors started planting their own too, like a silent rebellion blooming 1 yard at a time. And as he stood out there one morning, coffee in hand, dew glistening on the petals, a little girl riding by on her scooter waved and said, "Nice roses, mister." He smiled. Sometimes, the fight finds you. But sometimes, the way you fight defines everything that comes next. So, what do you think? Was Javier right to help the person who tried to ruin him? Or should justice have come with a little more fire? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you've ever had to deal with a power-tripping HOA like Meredith. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder. Doing the right thing still beats burning everything down.